But what Jesus is describing to his disciples in Matthew chapter 24 is that for all of us here, there will come a moment when our world gets turned upside down. That's a scary thought, isn't it? I mean, it's normal to be caught off guard, right? We move through life and things are managed and they're under control. And it's normal to be caught off guard and to be found hopeless when circumstances in our life get turned upside down. That's the nature of the thief in the night. A thief sneaks in, right? And sort of takes all that we know and hold dear. Who of us wants a thief to come in the night and steal our joy and extinguish our hope? Sometimes that's how life is, though, isn't it? It sort of just turns us upside down. We get disoriented. We find ourselves lost and aimless. We're wandering around in the dark. We feel like it's so dark and it's so turned upside down and so chaotic that we can't see what to do next. And what's worse, in those moments, we convince ourselves that there is absolutely no one else that sees us either. We're alone. We become convinced that we've lost everything, even hope. So friends, why is Scripture describing God as a thief in the night? Friends, when life gets turned upside down, that's when we discover who we're meant to be. And Jesus in Matthew chapter 24 is telling his disciples, look, folks, life is going to get turned upside down. And then he begins to introduce hope, a hope that comes like a thief in the night. Scripture describes this God of hope arriving like a thief in the night at just the right hour of our greatest distress and hopelessness. He shows up in those moments. Friends, this is when we should be the most watchful. That's actually what Jesus tells his disciples in Matthew chapter 24. When the thief in the night comes, that's when you should be the most watchful. That's when we should anticipate the most that the hope of God is ready to spring into action. So we should keep our eyes peeled, friends. Watch for the God of hope to come to you like a thief in the night. Now listen, we're not being like Pollyanna-ish about hope. I'm kind of over that. Paint a nice picture on it. We know bad things happen to Christians. We know bad things happen to people. Bad things happen to everyone, and we can't just gloss it over and pretend like it doesn't matter or that it doesn't hurt. But we can be rest assured of a deeper hope beyond all of that darkness and suffering and void. There is a joy of the Lord that speaks a greater word into all of that. At the end of all things, when everything gets turned upside down, at the end of all that, at any suffering that the world brings, that the God of hope is right there in step, ready to enter into at just the right moment.